Hi everyone, Carlos here. It's been so crazy lately with AI and today with the news about Opus 4.6 and Codex that it's very hard to keep up, right? And I think we're all struggling with work-life balance and just grinding in terms of where's that their direction everything's taken and what are the capabilities and how to best kind of like understand and apply those capabilities, right? So I just think that today is a great day to show you all a little bit of those capabilities of specifically Opus 4.6, what it can achieve, but also what are the capabilities of Groovy, which is basically an OpenClaw, but much easier to install um, with, I think, much bigger capabilities than what OpenClaw has, but also much easier to use for individuals and teams. So let me walk you through a demo where we're going to be able to see how you can install and use Groovy, and then how you can prepare it, and how you can start using a ton of skills, and how to install and set up all of those skills, and then how do you use Groovy in your day to day to take the most out of it. Okay, so let me share my screen really quick. Just going to share my entire screen here. So the first thing that you're going to be able to see in Groovy is this step one. This is I think the most complex step in our setup. But basically, it's going to ask you two things. Do you want to install Groovy in your Mac, or do you want the Groovy Mac? Basically, what this does is if you choose your Mac, we're going to install Groovy in your Mac, and it's going to be contained in your Mac. It's going to be using your terminal. It has complete access to your computer, and we do that via a connector, right? So you're going to have to download a DMG, double click on it, then put it in applications. And then once you open it, you establish that connection, right? It's very simple. It's just 3 steps and you are done with the installation of Groovy. You don't have to do anything in the terminal. It's just a DMG, again, an app that you're going to download, and you just double click on it. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. For the Groovy Mac, this is best for teams and for enterprise, where if you click on it, we are going to create a Mac for you in the cloud with the same capabilities. Okay. And everybody you add into your team is going to have access to that Mac, right? So it's basically a shared Mac. Now, the people that you invite are going to be able to choose either if they want to stay on that Mac or install it in their local computer. But this is more an enterprise offering, but of course, individuals can have it as well. The difference with this plan is that our minimum price for this plan is $200 per month for at least 10 users. Okay, but that's a dedicated Mac for the team. And in this case, you don't have to do anything. You just click on Groovy Mac, you hit next, and that's it. We provision the Mac automatically for you. And then the next step, the second step, is WhatsApp. For WhatsApp, you have 2 options. We can provision a WhatsApp number for you automatically, and you don't have to do anything else. Or on the other hand, you can choose to use your own WhatsApp, which in that case, you're just going to have to scan a QR code, and that's it. So again, no terminal commands, no complex installation, no installation of packages. It is just 2 simple steps, and actually no steps if you choose the Groovy Mac or the Groovy WhatsApp, right? So that's about the installation. Once you do that, you're going to be able to see Groovy. Okay? And the first thing that you're going to have to know in Groovy is that you're going to see if your machine is connected. As long as your computer is not asleep. So for example, in my case, I went to battery and I said it never sleep. So my computer never sleeps. So it never gets disconnected. It's always online. If it's always online, I can reach my computer from anywhere. When I'm out, I can send messages via WhatsApp. I can open my Groovy application, and that's it. Another tip is that since we have the web app, you can add Groovy to your home screen, and it's going to look exactly like an app. Like, I don't know why people are doing apps anymore, me included. Like, I do iOS apps as well. But if you add it to your home screen, it's going to look exactly like an app, and it's going to behave exactly like an app. This connector automatically auto fixes, relaunches, etc. if there was a problem. So you should never see a problem with this connector. If you ever see that it's offline, you just restart the connector. If there's a new version, we're going to show it here. You can download the new version, double click on the zip on the DMG. You're going to see drag and drop two applications. Once you do that, it's going to tell you to replace if you want to replace the old one. If that's the case, that's it. So very simple here. You also have a button to test if you want to do that. If you're going to have the browser files and Obsidian capabilities. So let's dive a little bit more into that a little bit later. In terms of settings, you're going to be able to see here, same as I saw in the other window. You're going to be able to refresh your connector if it's connected, to restart it as well. The restart is like a hard restart. It's going to eliminate all the things that you had in your local, so that we troubleshoot. Okay. And in here, you're going to see the two options of your local or Groovy Mac. So basically, you're going to be able to change if at some point you don't want your local anymore, but you want Groovy Mac, you can do that as well. And then you have the team members. You can, of course, add team members. You're going to be able to see who's your admin here. In this case, it's me. I'm going to be able to add any person to my team, and I'm going to tell you in a little bit what you can do with that. And then also, you're going to have the auto run option. And let me jump into that really quick. So let's say I have this chat right here, this window, and I have a person that I invited to my workspace. I'm the admin. I invited somebody to my workspace. As an admin, of course, you're responsible of the billing, right? And all of the usage. So if I click here on share all, once I invite somebody to my workspace, I'm going to be sharing this instance basically with that person. Okay. But not only that, if I reference that person, for example, if that person is called Frank, you're going to be able to see that person appearing here. And once I send a message to Frank, for example, something like, hey, Frank, can you share your calendar with me so that I can coordinate? The system is going to send a request, or basically an agent in his end is going to want to run and go to his calendar. Now, if this in settings, right, is not set, so for example, here, if it's not auto run, he's going to see a prompt that says, hey, Carlos is asking for your calendar. Do you want to run this? And he will need to approve it. If he has it in auto run, it will do it automatically. So again, if I say, Frank, can you share your calendar with me? If he has it in auto run, he's going to search for his calendar. He's going to give me his availability. And my agent is going to be able, or Groovy is going to be able to understand if he has available slots or not. And this is amazing for teams, right? Because what that means is that Groovy is like, we're all talking here, right? And that means that Groovy is not just answering based on my information. It's answering based on the information of each one of the people involved in the conversation, which is truly amazing. Now, the question is, okay, what can I do? There's many things that you can do here. But first of all, let me go into memory. We have a unified memory, right? And what this does is that it behaves like the human brain. It has short-term memory, mid-term memory, and long-term memory. Short-term memory acts as compaction, meaning when the 200,000 token window gets full, it starts compressing. Then we have a mid-term memory, which uses beacons to compress the tokens, and we have more than 1 million tokens there. And then we have long-term with RAG. It's automatic. So basically, what the AI is doing all the time is asking the memory. So Groovy, which is this main agent, this main chat, is asking Groovy all the time for context. So if I start a new session, Groovy might fetch the memory and say, for example, hey, what was this person talking about lately? So actually, let's do that right now, right? So I'm starting a new session, and I can ask something like, for example, hey, Groovy, what was my last conversation with you about? So again, this orchestrator right here doesn't know anything about any context because it's a new session, right? But now what it's doing, as you can see here in the brain, is asking the unified memory what I've been working on and what is the context. So as you can see, it says, based on my memory, your last conversation with me was on January 30th, and they were about exploring your code base. So for example, this code base, specifically, you asked about this repository, you tried the blah, 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 right? So it knows my context. It understands what I've been talking about, okay? And this memory is going to grow and grow and grow as you use Groovy, so that you don't have to ask it or direct it into some things. For example, yesterday I wanted to work on some code, and I just told her, hey, Groovy, can you modify these and these files? And it told me, oh, are you talking about this app that you were working on? If that's so, let me grab it, okay? So it's very powerful, and it's something that you're going to see in the day to day that it's going to be extremely helpful. Right. With that in mind, let's start with the skills. Okay. So first of all, how this works is you have a main Groovy, right? A main chat, which is what orchestrates absolutely everything, and then you have skills. You can call those skills by just doing something like, for example, browser, or doing something like add files or whatever, right? But not only that, you can even go further. You can say, "Hey, Groovy, I want to go to you. I want you to go to files, but not only that, in files, I want you to go to this specific session, right?" So it's very flexible as well in terms of what can you tag and what specific conversation you want from previous conversations. So now, with that in mind, let me go into the specifics. Right, the first one is the AI chat. One of the things that happened to me, that always has happened to me actually, is that I use different AIs for different things. I might use ChatGPT 4.0, or sorry, OpenAI 4.0 for writing, but I might use 5.2 for more complex stacks. Or I might use a Gemini Nano Banana for images, but then maybe I use Opus for coding or other things. So in here, you're going to be able to create AI agents based on your needs. So for example, if I click here on new agent, I'm going to be able to choose a provider, which at this point is 3 providers, and the model of each one of those providers. Okay. Once you create the agent, you're going to be able to even chat with that agent in this window, but that's not the idea. The idea is that you can actually reference that agent from the main orchestrator. So something that I can do is, "Hey, Groovy, go to AI chat," right, "to this specific conversation." So for example, Google Nano Banana, and give me a photo of a happy dog in the beach. So now we're going to start seeing the power, right, of Opus 4.6 here as the main orchestrator, and then calling, as you can see here in these cards, calling my agent, my other agent, Nano Banana Pro, in one of these skills, right? So you can have many AI chats with different capabilities, and the orchestrator kind of coordinating all of that. And as you can see, that it's amazingly quick. And the quality is incredible because I'm using Gemini for that. So it gives you that flexibility. And of course, you can see all the activity right here on the right. Okay, you're gonna also see if the memory is being updated or not updating. So for example, here memory is evaluating if it's worth to store this memory or not. In this case, it decided it was not worth storing this information. Okay, all right. So that's the first skill, which is AI chat. Now, the second incredible skill is code. And what this does is it uses headless cloud code terminal. And what that means is basically it's your local cloud code. You're going to have a cloud code account installed in your terminal. But in this case, it doesn't use the cloud code UI. It just uses our UI. So for example, if I click on Groovy, this is my session with cloud code. And basically I'm coding here everything that I need about Groovy. Okay. And one of the cool things about this, as you can see here, is that it shows me the div in a very nice UI. Okay. So again, same capabilities of Cloud Code, but you're going to have it here in Groovy. Why this is cool? Because you can be in your phone outside as long as the connector is online, meaning your computer it's alive. You're going to be able to code from here. And if you put your app, the web app, in your home screen, as I mentioned, the option of home screen, you're going to have a really nice UI there, like full screen of this headless cloud, just coding for you. Now, the other one is scheduling. So basically, scheduling, how it works is, "Hey, Groovy, I want you to go to this website, right, Reddit, do web scraping for me for these topics. Once you do that, I want you to give me a presentation, and I want you to do that every single day at 8 in the morning," right? So if that happens, you're going to be able to see here all of your scheduled tasks. And as you can see, I already have a Reddit scanner, and I already have a weekly scanner for a summary. I can run this manually, and I can see all the run history right in here. So again, you're going to be able to automatize anything you want, right? From bringing data from one place, sending to another place, etc. Right, that's scheduling basically. And again, you don't need to go into each one of these skills specifically. You can just coordinate everything from right here. Then you have the data agent or skill. And this is one of my favorite because what it does is that it has access, like original auth to any of these connections. So you can connect to your Salesforce, TikTok, LinkedIn, Google Drive, Gmail, Calendar, Firecrawl, any of these things. And what's really awesome about this is that it's going to open a widget. So for example, if I do, let's say I'm going to choose, Google Ads, right? So the widget opens and I can continue with Google Ads. That's going to authenticate me immediately my Gmail account with my Gmail account, and I immediately have access. Once you do that, and as you can see, I have all of these connections already connected. So I have Firecrawl, I have my Datagram Pixel, Groovy Web Pixel. So basically, we offer an out-of-the-box pixel. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. Just install your pixel in the website. It's a JavaScript snippet, and then we start tracking everything. And you're going to be able to basically do everything here. So it's amazing in terms of capabilities, right? Because you're going to be able to just any day just ask it, hey, what were my visits to my website? And I'm going to show you an example right away. So let's jump into that. So let's go, for example, to this Datagram Web Pixel. So basically, what I told it, and actually let me go down to just today, right? To just not get too much information. But basically, I told it, hey, can you give me just data for today? So it goes ahead, it connects to Datagram, right? The proxy. It handles authentication and everything. We handle, like, even if you authenticate and it's going to expire, we automatically handle the reauthorization. So basically, it's giving me all the data, right? High level KPIs, visitor sessions, event breakdown, what person did what, top pages, country where people are coming from, top cities, device breakdown, operating system, browser, referral sources. Let's see, mostly direct, but then Twitter, it's a big one. Users identified, and then notable insights. But not only that, it gives me an image that I can click on. And actually, I'm tempted to do it again so that you guys can see it. Hey, Groovy, can you give me data of today of my web pixel, of my web pixel using data, and specifically that Datagram web pixel again. All right. So it's routing here to Datagram, of course. It's going to start fetching the data, and it's going to give me the information, and hopefully the image is not going to be expired, and I'm going to be able to show that. But again, same process. It calls the skill. It's updating me on all the things that it's doing right here, right? Evaluating, for example, if it's worth storing the memory. It's querying Datagram, which is basically the source of all of these APIs, basically, where we're fetching the data from. And basically, Opus, which is this one, Opus 4.6, is calling these other skills, which actually work with the agents SDK from Cloud, right? So the cool thing about this is that it's able not only just to do a fetch, it can also create files. It can create dashboards. So if you want like a report in an Excel file or PowerPoint, it's going to be able to do that as well. So let's see what happens. It's saying, excellent, I have all the data. Now let me build a comprehensive report. It's running the report with visualizations. Again, this is running the agents SDK. And that's why it says that it's running code, because it's running code on Cloud's end, right? So let's see what's the output here. All right, the report was generated successfully. Let me also clean up the emoji issue and regenerate with text-based labels for a cleaner look. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it was done. The summary, again, key metrics, blah, blah, blah. Still writing all the metrics, identified users, activity, saving output, which is the PNG that hopefully is not expired at this point. All right, awesome. So we have two PNGs. Let's open this one first, and as you can see, it's right there, right? So it's really cool. Again, I don't have to go and do a mix panel or anything at this point. I just see it right here, and that's about it, right? And it's very comprehensive. It's truly awesome. Actually, just let's check this one as well, just to see it. But yeah, that's basically it. All right, so that's the data connector. As I mentioned before, it has Firecrawl as well. So for example, if I want to scrape a website and I don't want to use a browser, that's truly awesome as well. And it's going to give you a ton of capabilities. The other one is files. I touched on this a little bit before, but basically files is going to give you the chance to upload Excel files, PowerPoints, whatever, and transform them, do new files or whatever you're going to need. Okay. So for example, I could just upload an Excel file from here, and again, I just tell it, analyze this file, and it's going to be able to output either another Excel file or a PowerPoint or whatever you ask for. So I'm not going to go too much into that. The other one that we have is Obsidian, and Obsidian is really amazing. And let me create a new one, a new chat, and let me open my Obsidian so that maybe I can find somebody around here. I don't want to show something. Maybe these two do. Yeah, let's ask about the to-dos. So hey, can you use my Obsidian and search for my to-do, please? I was like saying please. Anyways, so what's really cool about this one is that it's going to be able to show you the graph that it finds around that to-do. So as you can see, it has all of these connections, so I can visualize it there. And then it's going to give me the result of that to-do list. Again, so you need to obviously have Obsidian to be able to run this, but basically you're going to be able to do it via AI, right? All right, so that's the to-do that we just saw. But of course, I have many other to-dos in other probably to-dos that we didn't get to see. All right, so that's Obsidian. So now let's use the browser here, and that's the computer browser, and it's also using Opus 4.6 for this. So I'm just gonna paste this. So you can see I'm just telling it to go to Hacker News and use the browser tool. So we'll see how it goes. Same thing, we're gonna see the activity here on the right. All right, so you can see the screen here, and hopefully it's gonna be enough to just give us the result. Right, it seems it finished, and there it is. There's the result. Claude, Opus, and then GPT-5.3 Codex. All right, everybody. That will be it for the demo. As you can see, very powerful, very easy to set up, and it has a ton of skills that I'm sure that you're going to find very, very useful. So please let me know if you have any feedback, and I hope you like it. Take care.